Corey Lajoie will not drive for Spire Motorsports next season. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. The vast majority of the NASCAR industry is on vacation this week and next, but silly season never sleeps. And thank goodness, honestly, because to be fully transparent, this is a daily NASCAR news, commentary, reaction show, and there's not much to react to when the entire industry goes into hibernation. Today, however, a huge story has just broke. The Athletic reports Corey Lajoie will not drive for Spire Motorsports in 2025. They have a direct statement from Corey himself. "I won't be driving the 7 car next year. I take a lot of satisfaction from having an integral part of building Spire into a respectable team on the grid, but unfortunately the future won't involve me. We will finish the remainder of 2024 strong, continuing to deliver for my partners, my guys who work hard to build good cars, family, fans, and friends who have supported me since day one in the Cup Series." This all seemingly happened very suddenly. Yesterday, rumors began to pop up. I listened to Stacking Pennies, and there was a brief, albeit passionate rant from Corey Lajoie's co-host Ryan Flores that suggested maybe there was some industry chatter and speculation about Lajoie's future. I'll go ahead and play that short clip right here.
Well, I had got into an argument with a guy that's on one of the Penske teams in the truck. He's like, "What's your boy going to do next year? Going to lose his ride? He keeps running and stacking cautions." And I said, why don't you shut the F up? On the spotter stand, they're saying this. Well, guess what? If he gets fired, he's going to make more money.
I'll be fine.
And getting released than any spotter up there for the next 5 years. So why don't you guys worry about spotting?
That clip, combined with Couch Racer's tweet last night, I actually recorded a whole episode before I just sat down to do this episode talking about those rumors. Then, of course, Jordan Bianchi breaks the actual story. So now there's a lost Out of the Groove episode that will likely never see the internet. All this happened very quickly, like within the past 24, 36 hours or so. The reason I say this must have happened quickly is because just a couple weeks ago, when Spire Motorsports announced they had signed Rodney Childers to crew chief the number 7 next year, they mentioned Corey Lajoie's name multiple times in that press release. In fact, Rodney Childers himself had this statement, quote, "Corey is a veteran of the sport, and I think we have a tremendous opportunity in front of us." That was just a couple of weeks ago. And of course, last summer, Lajoie signed a multi-year extension with Spire. Now, we know how this works. Maybe the first year was guaranteed. Year 2, year 3 are team options. Perhaps Spire is just choosing not to pick up Lajoie's option. That's very common in this sport. But still, the Rodney Childers press release was just earlier this month. This seems to have happened very, very quickly. So that's my first reaction is, whatever you may think of Corey Lajoie's abilities on the racetrack, I feel bad that he's being let go effectively so late into the year when so many other silly season dominoes have fallen into place. I'm not sure Corey Lajoie would have had a huge market regardless, but now his options are even more limited than if they'd informed him of their decision several months ago. So I do feel bad for Corey in that respect because, again, whatever you may think of his abilities on the racetrack, he has been an integral part of Spire Motorsports the past almost 4 years now. And so for them to kind of do him dirty like this, I don't know, I think that's kind of unfortunate. But that being said, from the team's perspective, I get it. I completely understand why Spire Motorsports would be wanting to go in a different direction. Spire is spending a lot of money to try and get competitive quickly. Gamebridge hopping on board was a big deal, signing rookies Carson Hocevar, working out that deal with Trackhouse to get Zane Smith. Going into next year, making a big splash and signing veteran Michael McDowell, who will make this team better. Then, of course, signing Rodney Childers, who will make this team better. I don't blame Spire Motorsports for asking the honest question, does Corey Lajoie make our team better? Personally, I like Corey Lajoie a lot. He was one of the first Cup Series drivers who I ever really got connected with in the early days of this show back in 2019. I'll never forget it. He invited me to come on his podcast with Daryl Mott at the time. We recorded at the Motor Racing Network studios in North Carolina. It was surreal. I was blown away, and ever since then, Corey has always been very upfront, honest, and open with me, which I very much appreciate. But the honest truth is that on the racetrack, this year especially, the results have been underwhelming. Keep in mind, Corey Lajoie has never really been in top tier equipment, but this year again, Gamebridge Spire made huge investments. And over the past 8 races specifically, Lajoie has been outrun by both of his rookie teammates. In the past 8 races, Carson Hocevar, 21 years old, has a very respectable average finish of 15.6. Zane Smith, another rookie who struggled out the gates, confidence took a hit. He's figured it out, at least a little. His average finish the past 8 weeks is 20.1. Corey Lajoie, 32 years old, working with the same crew chief he's had for nearly 5 years now. His average finish in that same span is 20.8, worst of the group. Again, Spire had to ask themselves the question, does Corey Lajoie make us better? And the results on track this year seem to suggest he doesn't. Personally, I like Corey Lajoie. It would have been very interesting to see what he could do next year with Rodney Childers. If they had raced it out next year and Lajoie had shown little to no improvement and the team wanted to show him the door, I would have completely supported it. But the timing of this announcement is odd to me, is really, really odd. It makes you wonder if the Kyle Busch drama at Pocono and then Busch's comments on Pat McAfee's show last week, the internet's harsh criticism of Corey, you wonder if that played into their decision at all. I'm being completely honest. Shoot, now I guess if we can look ahead, the number 7 car is open for next year. I mean, I don't know. Do you put Michael McDowell in the 7, team him up with Rodney Childers? Maybe you keep Zane Smith in the 71 for another year, work out another lease with Trackhouse? Maybe. I don't think they'll promote any of their Truck Series drivers. I like Raja Karuth. He is not Cup Series ready. Nick Sanchez over at Rev Racing. He is not Cup Series ready. Speaking of Kyle Busch, you gotta wonder if Spire Motorsports is going to give old Richard Childress a phone call. Spire has spent a lot of money on key people, McDowell, Childers, among others. Who's to say they don't make Richard Childress an offer? We'll buy out the last year of Kyle Busch's contract. He's leaving you guys after 2025 anyways. Maybe they'll figure out a way to sweeten the deal for old RC. I would be shocked if a conversation between owners doesn't happen. It would be a little sick and very ironic if Spire were to replace Corey Lajoie with Kyle Busch. Imagine Kyle Busch with Rodney Childers. That would be very interesting. I know Spire's equipment isn't quite there yet, but that pairing could be dynamic. I honestly didn't think it was possible, but silly season somehow got a lot sillier. I feel for Corey Lajoie. Unfortunately, the on-track results just never quite lived up to expectations. Where does he go from here? Your guess is as good as mine. Again, it's kind of late in the game. What Cup Series seats realistically are even available? Todd Gilliland re-signed, Stenhouse re-signed, Briscoe's going to Gibbs, Gregson's going to Front Row, Custer to Haas factory team, Josh Berry over to the 21. I mean, are there good Xfinity cars, Truck Series trucks? Corey Lajoie likely is going to end up somewhere, and I believe if you put Lajoie in a good truck, a good Xfinity Series car, he can win. I know it's been many years now, but he's won in K&N, ARCA against legit competition. It's been a really rough year for Corey Lajoie, but I still think he'll end up somewhere. The timing of all of this is super, super interesting. To quote Richard Childress Racing, the timing, at least if you're Corey Lajoie, could not be worse. But leave a comment down below. Where do you think Corey Lajoie ends up? Who do you think takes over the number 7? Will they work with Rodney Childers next year? How do you think that team will do? Let me know what you're thinking down in the comment section below. Hopefully, like me, you've all now had plenty of time to process this massive breaking news. Thank you all so much for watching this episode, y'all. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more NASCAR news, content, commentary, and so much more all season long. And a big thank you to my Patreon supporters. More to come later this week and all throughout the 2-week Olympic break. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, folks. Thanks for watching.